root. Square root addition or subtraction. When we add and subtract, we have to add and subtract like terms. So if I have 2 square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 10, I can't add them because they're not like terms. They have to have the exact same thing under the square root. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify our square roots first, then we're going to add or subtract them if we have like terms. So again, since we're working with square roots, we want to think about our perfect squares. 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared, 8 squared, 9 squared, and that's probably big enough. So those are the list of my perfect squares. When I'm factoring them out, I want the biggest perfect square that goes into the number. So if I'm simplifying the square root of 75, which we did on the previous page, how would I factor that? What times what? 25 times 3, because 25 is the biggest perfect square that goes into 75, and 25 times 3 is 75. The square root of 25 is 5, so we get 5 square root of 3. We've got that first part simplified. The second part, we have negative 3 times the square root of 27. 27 is not a perfect square, so we want to factor it. What times what is 27? The first factor we want to be the biggest perfect square that divides into 27. 9. 9 times 3. So if you're stuck, go on your list and say, okay, 36 is too big, 25 doesn't go into 27, 16 doesn't, but 9 does. 9 times 3. Now when I simplify this, the square root of 9 is 3. I'm going to multiply it by what's already out there. So 3 times negative 3 would give me negative 9 square root of 3. Now I'm going to have like terms. It's like taking a 5x minus a 9x. Think of that square root part as your label. We're just doing the front numbers. 5 minus 9 would be negative 4, so I get negative 4 square root of 3. So number 5, we're starting out with the 2 square root of 45. The 45 is not a perfect square, so we want to factor that. The biggest perfect square that goes into 45 will be 9 times 5. So make that 9 times 5. I take out the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3. I multiply that by the number in front, so I get 6 square root of 5 when that's simplified. Then I'm going to do plus the square root of 20. 20 again is not a perfect square. I should factor that into 4 and 5, because 4 is the biggest perfect square that divides into 20. The square root of 4 is 2, so I get plus 2 square root of 5. So I get 6 square root of 5 plus 2 square root of 5, which would give me, I'm adding 8 square root of 5. So 8 square root of 5 would be my answer. Number 6, same kind of thing then. I have negative 4 times the square root of 18. 18 is not a perfect square. I'm going to factor that into, I want the biggest perfect square that goes into 18, so I want to use 9 times 2. 9 times 2. If I use 6 and 3, neither of those are perfect squares, so I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So square root of 9 is 3. So 3 times my negative 4 in front gives me negative 12 square root of 2 then, right? Then we have minus the square root of 8. 8 again is not a perfect square. We're going to factor that into 4 times 2. The square root of 4 is 2, so we're going to get minus 2 square root of 2 then. So we have negative 12 square root of 2 minus 2 square root of 2, which would give me
Negative 14 square root of 2.
exactly negative 14 square root of 2.